knowing what I know at 68, things I wouldn't do.
Yeah.
Excessively beat my body up, but I don't need to do that.
I've learned a lot over the 4 decades of health and fitness and being in the trenches with the greatest in the world. And one of those things I've learned a lot more about and how to build better muscle is nutrition and how it has changed over the decades. And that's why I have the Titan meal plan for you guys out there that are confused about nutrition. I'm gonna set you straight. Get a hold of me today. The link will be in the comments down below for you guys. Everybody, get over to the Titan meal plan, and I'll see you in the Titan crew where I will fine tune any difficulties that you're having. You can be so preventative. And that takes us to the next point that I know that a lot of people, and I hate this, a lot of people lift light. And the reason I hate it is because there's no such thing as light weightlifting, because weightlifting is for stress on the body relative to the person and what they can lift.
Right.
They don't need to lift mine.
Right.
They need to lift what's heavy for them, because then it stresses the body, and the stress in the body will make it get stronger. But then you get these people that just lift light and they just do tons of reps. And that's where I love what you've done, is because the problem here is now you're just doing mileage.
Right.
So you're not getting the benefit of the weights, so you're not stressing your body.
Right.
And you're getting this great pump, but are you doing anything? It's like, so how can you stress the body, do the lightweight, don't get the mileage, and still get a great workout? Take it away.
Bro, it tricks your body. When you put these cuffs on, let me see one of them. It's like a tourniquet, but they also have ones that are like a pressure cuff, like a power pump, like you're doing your blood pressure. I don't like those only because you gotta pop it on, pump them up, pop it, pump them up. Or here I just go, and it tightens, and it's got like a cushion on the inside, because this is the area where you really want it at. Like someone as big as you, I have, well,
you got X-Man doing it. Tony.
Yes, Tony.
Our boy.
Tony's awesome.
One of the nicest.
Tony is one of the first guys. Well, first of all, Tony was humongous forever.
Yeah, he wasn't humongous. He was one of the biggest symmetrical monsters ever to walk on stage.
Beautiful.
And I've known him, we've been friends since he came into Gold's, and I think it was like 90, 91. He walked around the corner, he goes, "Who's this white boy bent over rowing 500? And we were instantly friends.
Right.
But just a cool cat, but it was cool to see he was with you.
Well, let me tell you how it happened.
Go.
Harold Hoog, who's one of my closest friends, God rest his soul, he is one of those guys who was 600-pound bencher. I mean, Harold was a beast, and they're like cousins, brother cousins, and meaning they're not real family, but they are. And I met them working out in 1991 in the Goals down near the airport. Yep. And I just happened to be there. Boy. And I ended up getting Harold in the business, and I begged Tony. Good-looking son of a bitch he was, man. I was like, you need to do. Remember, he had the dreads and everything back then. He was a handsome dude, but he wanted the bodybuild. He didn't want to lift. So, bottom line is, that's how I know him. And I hadn't talked to him in a while, Tony. And Harold, he called me and said, "Hey, listen," because he came over and did the cuffs, and he was like, "Bro," he's like, "we got to get Tony on these." He goes, "I'm going to tell him," because once you stop getting out of the business, a lot of guys just go and drop down in weight. And Tony was about 230, and then he got COVID, and he went to 205, and then he got back in the gym, and he was hating it because of the pump that kept leaving. So I just called him up. I said, "T," I said, "Listen, I'm working out tomorrow. You want to come over and do this with me?" He goes, "Absolutely." I go, "You're going to do the whole thing with me?" He goes, "What do you mean the whole thing?" I said, "The gauntlet." He goes, "What's the gauntlet?" I said, "It starts with the plunge and then goes into hypoxia training for the oxygen, where literally you're going to be breathing about 13-14% oxygen.
It stimulates going up to 22,000 feet.
Yeah, we're 6 to 7% oxygen.
Doing it now.
And we're breathing 20 to 21, anybody who's listening. So we're going to do that, and I'm going to show you how you ease into that, and then how you can train with that. Then we're going to get on the mat for 15 minutes, warm up. Then we're going to hit the weights, and we'll close out on the mat. So he,
Jeez Louise.
Now he's not going to do it.
there's no way he back off at any challenge. But it's just great to have that new stuff. Like I started training at about probably 14,000 feet. Really easy on the bike, not putting anything. I put something in the beginning, rip the mask off.
Right.
You know, because of that reason. But once I started to own that, like when she's climbing, she doesn't climb to 20,000 feet or wherever she's going. She climbs to 11, chills out, 12, chills out, and works her way up. Today I trained at 22,000 feet. Again, now I'm walking backwards. You know that guy from knees over toes? I do a lot of stuff that he does. I already did it naturally with part of my workout, but now I integrated his stuff in. Again, no knee pain. They're bone on bone. So I'm going backwards, 15 incline at about a 1.5, 1.6 with 6% oxygen, 7% oxygen. After 10 minutes of that, get on the bike, and now we're gonna do sprints. Sprinting and then flicking it to 60 to 70% oxygen. What a rush. And then taking it back down and then flicking it and going back to the 60 to 70%.
So we just finished one movie. It turned out great. I am loving it. I love the dailies that we see. On to the next project. You finish, you keep going, you keep trying to go. That's, I guess, a better way to say it. And this next movie that I have booked, this is going to take all of me. This is going to take slice to the bone, all the character development, but also I need to be able to move and grow and keep that strength through this process. You'll understand why that is after you see the movie, but keeping the strength is key when you're dieting. And so I'm going to show you how to do that on Power Bodybuilding. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you over there.
Have you guys ever done hypoxia training?
I haven't.
It's
It
crazy.
sounds
like,
amazing.
I do the treadmill, but like I don't do drugs. Not that there's anything wrong with whatever people want to do, but the euphoria you get, like the tingling through your body, I'm like, wow, this has got to be what it's like when you flip it to full oxygen.
Yeah.
And you've like deprived your body so much.
Yeah.
It's like amazing.
So what this is, that company is called LiveO2. And I went up to meet the guy who created it on a mountain in Colorado. He lives on the top of a mountain, 8,000 foot mountain.
No, it's like 12.
12?
Anyway,
It's
yeah.
up there, right?
It's up
It's
there.
up there.
He built his house to the mountain.
His house goes like this into the mountain, glass with where all his garden is,
Hydroponic,
30 feet high.
self-sufficient, off-grid.
Like no friggin' AC or heating in his humongous house because of the way the heat comes in, all that. He developed LiveO2.
Anyway, stay focused on that.
Okay. But,
That's a good story too, though. I love it. Thank you. Yeah, man.
so
Future living.
So what's happening? Why are you taking away the oxygen? Because that sounds bad. Because you know, when we got COVID, they put that thing on our finger, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're like 92. You're not in good shape right here.
The blood oxygen.
You're at 89. They're putting you in the friggin' hospital. I'm taking down to 79. I've been down to 72.
Just for like
For those moments,
Right.
only so that when you put the oxygen back in, your body wants it like it wants real food.
Right.
It doesn't want McDonald's garbage. It wants real food. So when that oxygen comes in, your body sucks it up like a sponge, and it helps to heal. Oxygen, to me, I believe is the best healer of anything. I got 2 hyperbaric chambers, but they take too much time. This, I could feel it right away. And my memory is so much better. It's kind of crazy. You walk into a room, what did I walk in here for? I do that still, but very rarely. Because when you hit that oxygen, it's going up into the brain-blood barrier, which now you're healing yourself when all that oxygen's coming in. And then the hardest thing you do is now you stay on 50, 60, 70% oxygen, whatever that meter says. And now we're just going to pedal nice and easy. No weight, no strain. Deep breath. Exhale it all out. Keep pedaling. First time guys do it, like 5 seconds, 8 seconds. I've built up, I'm consistently 20. I can go to 30. I've gone to 60. no, and then I mean, you want it so bad. Like you're gassed. It's like you've been held down underwater. And again, it's a rush. And again, I've always been doing things like you say, preventative maintenance. That's my whole starting wrestling at 35. Hardest thing ever.
Yeah.
Smartest thing for me though, because I didn't do the crazier shit I would have done at 25.
Yeah.
You know, so it really comes.
This so intrigues me just because I have a lot of friends that are doing this now.
Really?
Yeah, I have some friends that are doing it because of the studies and stuff, but then
Right.
I have other friends that are doing it because they're in their 60s and they're battling cancer. And there's some studies about it around that. So I haven't dug deep enough to find out about that, but just to listen to you how you explain it, like anything, you pull back on it and you train in that hard position.
Right.
And then you add back in.
Plus 3 times, like not 20%. We're bringing you 50 to 60, sometimes you can go to 70. I have a little dial so you can see exactly where you are.
And I've had a little bit of practice only because of the fact that when I was playing ball, we were in domes sometimes.
Right.
And there's such a crowd, there's such a thing. And you would think this air's air, but no, the air's getting sucked up. And so we'd have to be on oxygen on the sideline.
Right.
Wow.
And man, and then nothing beat it more when I wasn't feeling good on the TV show Battle Dome, when we teamed up with WCW. Yep. Off day, I'm a little tanked, and the guy goes, well, here's the scoop. Just between the morning show, we'll get you on some oxygen. I went out there against a couple of guys. One was a alternate for the Olympic wrestling team, 190. I actually picked him up and shook him like a baby and laid him down in front of me. Now I could have done that to a lot of guys, but not a 190 Olympic wrestler.
That's a badass machine.
So I was like, what? I come backstage, and Terry Crews is there and goes, what is wrong with you? And I'm like, I had oxygen. What? No, you had something else. And it was like an amazing. So what would happen if I trained at such a hard level and then pulled back into that? And then so that's a very interesting to me.
It's that time again to get my blood work done to see where my numbers are. Again, the one big thing for me is I'm keeping track of it. It's so precise. You know, I competed in bodybuilding and powerlifting and martial arts, but that was all over decades ago. And so how can I continue to keep this physique and be this strong at this stage? And so that is by optimizing my health with Titan Medical. It all stems from one thing: your blood work, what's going on inside of you. And that's the main thing that I'm focused about, is see how I can continue to not just be in the game. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be a weekend warrior. I don't want to say you got a dad bod. I want to be the pinnacle of the health and fitness industry decades after I competed. And I've always said this too. You got so many of these guys that were with me in the 80s and 90s, and they keep putting the pictures up from the 80s and 90s. I don't want to be that guy. I like the fact that I can still put up pictures of me today, even though I won the universe back in the 90s. That's the goal for me. I don't know what your goal is, but I can tell you this. I know you want to live, and I know you want to live your best life. And that starts with blood work. Over at Titan Medical, start today.
Okay, so now I'm taking to Tony because I haven't forgot about him.
So he shows up. Now what?
So now Tony, at that point where he'd gone down to 205, he got back in the gym. I was down back to about 220. That's when I call him. And the first day, and how I figured out how to use because I know bodybuilders have been taking ace bandages and wrapping around their legs and rubber around their arms, trying to really unsafe. Okay, this is instant. To show you how easy this is, like I wouldn't use this one on you because your arms are so big. I would use a leg one on you, like we do. You know who Brent Swanson is?
Yeah.
Yeah, but really, him and his wife Autumn,
Awesome.
we love them. But he wears the leg straps on his arms.
Need to.
Right, exactly. But for back to Tony, I said, okay, T, here's how we're gonna do. We're gonna make it a little big enough to slide up your arm, and this is like a cushion side right through here. Okay, so take it in here, click it in here, and notice that this is also what I call an equalizer. stretches. All right. So you can. For you, we'd still take it and wrap it around yours. All right. So for a normal human being, not a superhero, sliding it up here. All right. So this is as high as up as it will go. And you want to do research, go to DDP Yoke. No, go to powercuffs.com. There's so much science on there because there's so much written
Well,
about
it's been
this.
around since the 60s.
Right.
Yeah.
For rehab, right?
Right.
So once it's here, now I put it in and I say power up. And so it's like, that's perfect right there. So now think of your heart and the arteries that come down your fingers and down your legs. And the veins take it back up, right?
Right.
Think of the arteries
Again,
as
shut
PVC piping.
Okay.
Think of the veins as garden hose. When we step on a garden hose, water still comes out, but it trickles out, right? So now with no weight, but I'm talking about, I started with 10 pounds on my dumbbell curls. Just creating that resistance, you can see the blood starting to come. Now we're doing that. Me and Tony are working out, right? The reason why a lot of bodybuilders didn't stick with it, because if even they had it wound up, you're supposed to do 30 reps, 30 seconds off, 30 reps, 30 seconds off, 30 reps, 30 seconds off, 15 reps. So it's 15 reps, 15, 15, 30 seconds in between, starting with 30. Well, after you've done your first set of biceps, work through that, you can't work bis again. Because you're too shot. But I said, why don't we mix it up? Now I'll do tris. Or I'll do bis and chest. Okay, so alternate. So Tony keeps coming with me, and that's why he got involved with us, because he's like, this is unbelievable. Because now he calls me up on the third day, after the third day, and he goes, I've still got this pump.
Yeah.
He goes, how's that possible? I said, bro, I've been doing it for a couple months longer than you have. And bro, it's like when I was on the gas and I had that, my home's like a rock.
Yeah.
You know, well, I ain't on the gas anymore.
Right.
I take my 1 cc of testosterone, but that's it. That's all I take. And now I broke that up to take it multiple times during the week. So it's a little bit at a time, not just 1 cc in me. But I mean, this, like, for me to have that arm like that again.
Almost 70.
It's gonna be 70. So I put on 1.5 inches of my arms. That's what I was saying. Arnold and Sly would love these things because I've created the workouts around them. So how I do it for this, I'll train chest and back Monday, biceps and tris Wednesday, shoulders and legs. Legs, oh my. You put those power cuffs on your legs. I've been doing workouts with no weight. And again, I would love to see with your quadzilla's legs you have, like how you felt like though. There's no weight.
Even just like I put them on sometimes and just do it on the treadmill, like walking uphill 15 incline or something like that. And it's like I had to like work out the next day. Not even doing any, squats or anything. So
The only problem is that we love doing squats and deadlifts.
No, you can
No,
do
it's
it.
a good-
No,
you still do it though.
You
You
still
still do it.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
still
do
do
it.
it.
But again, this is
I
as
use them for that too.
if I could go back in time and never lifted heavy ever, I would again, knowing what I know at 68, things I wouldn't do.
Yeah.
Excessively beat my body up when I don't need to do that.
So you're
How much
putting
we
stress on your
overtrained.
body. Yeah, so
You're
getting
stressing
that.
it.
But
It's the same way with the oxygen. You're making your body work smarter,
Right.
and you're setting yourself up in a tougher position. It's like the guys that go, like UFC fighters, go up to Colorado to train.
Yeah.
Why? Because when they come back down to the low grounds,
Exactly.
they're tenfold.
yeah.
Exactly.
Well, what did they do? Well, they didn't hurt their bodies. Well, they heightened it. They became metahumans.
Mm-hmm.
Same concept.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
in a great way.
we
And then
have
with
to-
Tony,
Yeah.
Tony was the one that came up with you at the,
Yeah.
was it the Arnold
Olympia.
Olympia?
Olympia.
And he was like, got to get you on these things. I want to see if you can make it through a workout. And I'm like, oh, well, you give me a challenge. All right. So I love that. And
No,
you
it'll
got to
be
try
different.
those.
It would all be different. You know, it's just a different way to train.
And I would love to see Mona try it.
Yeah, because like you see Paige, I mean, she didn't have
These
the
girls.
Oh
Yeah, I
man,
don't
These
have
two,
that.
these two
Yeah.
train together.
I just turned 50, and you know,
I'm
I
right
was
behind you. Totally.
yeah. But I always tell women too, especially in the the bat wings we get, like these help big time with it.
I don't
Not that
think
you
I'm
have to
ever
worry
gonna
about it,
let
but
those bat wings
He-
down.
yeah.
I'm gonna be
But it's,
dying.
you
with,
guys
like,
aren't
this
human, you
heart
two.
panic.
So but for people out there that want to try this, where again can they go over and try this?
well, Power Cuffs is at powercuffs.com.
Okay.
And it's a company I set up with a guy who did these rock cuffs, and he was one of the first guys I ever seen that had like the tourniquet style. Name's Chet, and like he is a walking encyclopedia of what these are, and they're developed for rehab. He's got them in so many clinics. The guy who the guy who's the main guy for surgeon WWE or NFL guy gets hurt, they do not pass go. They go to Birmingham. They go to see Dr. Andrews. He's the guy who fixes them. Then they meet Kevin Wilkes, his top PT guy. He uses Power Cuffs. He
There you go.
uses,
I love it.
because
There you
again,
go.
you can go lightweight. Like when Cody ripped his pack,
Yeah.
that's what he came back with blood flow restriction. And he was using some cheap ones. And I saw him these. I made him a little one. So he had his own labeling on it. And he loved it. And again, it helps heals you. It makes you, it tricks your body into think you're going heavy.